Our weekend was amazing.
Amazing, awesome. Okay, so good to be back. After how many days? I had a session with you last Monday, right, for the business plan class. So today we'll be going into the pitch deck, pitching your idea, pitching for fund, pitching, talking about your business through pitching. And when you pitch, you want to pitch to get funding. That's the essence of pitching. So we'll be learning the strategies and modalities of pitching for funding today. And the class also will be in two parts. The first session will be working with the pitch deck templates, after which you also go into your breakout rooms with your group members and come up with a business name and a business idea, put it up in a pitch deck template and get a representative that will pitch about that business when we return back from the breakout session. Just like we had the last time, you know. Then after the breakout session, we'll go into the pitching proper, the pitching class proper. Yeah, so for these four sets, the pitch deck templates, we'll be working on pitch deck templates. A simple template that a startup can use for to pitch their business, to talk about your business. So we'll be working on that template now. And as you can see from my screen, this is the template. It's just 6 pages templates. Yeah, 6 pages. And this is what we'll be working on in this first section of the class. Now, we also like to have a group picture because this is part of what we use for our recording for reports sake. And so we also like to have a group session, maybe before we go to the next class. That's after we return from the first half. That's the first class. Then we'll have a group picture, virtual group picture. We always have that during this section. It's part of our own recording purpose. Yes, so now pitch deck, pitching for funding. What exactly is pitching for fund, or what do you understand by pitching? When we say pitching for funding, have you attended any pitching program before? So let's discuss before we go into the class proper. Pitching, have you had the opportunity to attend any pitching section before now? So if you want to share maybe your experience, what you learned, and from pitching section, let's just hear you, 1 or 2 people or 3 people to share with us your experience in pitching, or maybe you've attended a section that he pitched. What did you learn from that session? So I want response also as usual, so that we'll be doing it together. Yes, pitching. Experience. I want you to share your experience on pitching. Have you had any experience? Have you attended any class on pitching? What did you learn from that? Okay, yeah, Shakirat, please go on, share.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yeah.
I was opportune to attend one pitching program once, and one of the major thing I think I picked up at that place was the power of storytelling. One of the teachers
Yeah.
actually sold
Mm.
by telling a story of something like the story of his life, and he brought out the fact that it was because of the experience he had. That was why he brought, and he brought it in actually form of a storyline.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, almost everybody had to agree that he did a great job, and he actually won he came first place
Oh,
in the
well,
pitch.
yeah. So I'm glad you learned something from pitching. So somebody else I want to share, because it's part of what we'll also be learning today also. Who else want to share?
Let me hear what please.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Marvelous.
Okay.
So I have actually applied for some grants, but
Okay.
I was selected for once to pitch
Okay.
my to pitch my business.
Yes.
So
What application is that?
um, what was that? Small mall. They call it small business mall.
Okay.
They did it, I think last month.
Okay.
Actually, I was not even putting mind there. I just applied and went away. But
Uh,
I'm surprised that they called me. They selected
okay.
me for the 20 people to pitch.
That would pitch.
So
Okay.
I pitched. Yes, I pitched. It was virtual pitch.
Yes.
Where they
Yes.
selected 6 people after the 20. So I was
Mm.
able to teach my business anyway, even
Mm.
though I was not selected for the semi-final. But
Yes.
what I know is that you really need to know your business. They want to know how well you know your business. Are you
Mm.
just doing it, or you actually know what you are doing?
Mm.
That's what they want to know. So after you have said whatever you want to say, the way they will be pushing questions to you here
Mm.
and there. Maybe you actually know what you are doing, or you are just trying to, to just put something down, which you don't really know much about. So
Okay.
that is what I learned. The mistake, because I was not expecting that they would call me. So
Mm.
I saw their mail very late. So
Yeah.
that very late, I was trying to put together my stuff.
Okay.
So I made mistake. The mistake is that I did not include a team member in my pitch
Okay. Yeah.
desk, which every
Mm.
other people put in their
Included.
own included in their own presentation, which
Yes.
I don't know, maybe that was the part of the reason they did not select me. I am
Okay.
not too sure, but I
Okay.
later find out that that is one of the mistake I made.
Okay. Yeah, that was nice. Nice experience. At least from that now, you keep on improving based on that experience you have. Thank you
Hmm.
very much. Do we have one more person to go?
Good
Any
morning,
other?
everybody.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone. My
Morning.
name is Rachel.
Okay.
So, though I've not have experience of pitching before,
Mm.
but I do watch it in some movies.
Okay.
So, what I gather about pitching is actually how it benefits the society, especially
Okay.
the less privileged, and
Yeah.
then how it's going to like bring income into the association.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's
Thank
it.
Yeah, thank you. So in pitching, we have different calls for pitching. There are business call for pitching and there are impact-oriented pitching. So if you see grant call and they ask you to come and pitch, what you need to know is first, research, is it an impact call or is it a funding for business call? And if you want to know the difference, impact is more like
Telephone number. Okay.
social enterprise or
Relationship
NGO. You are making impact in your community. And the business aspect is for profits, and you are running your business, but your business is also impacting the community, although you are profit-oriented. So you need to know, and that is why.
Pẹ̀lú wò pé kí ló tẹ̀ sọ pé ẹ̀yin fúnra yín àbí
Please, can
atúnrò
you
yẹ̀wò ni.
mute?
Okay.
Ṣé owó tí mo ní ṣó lè gbé? Tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀
Full
owó
funding
ìsponsor.
of trip.
Okay. So you need to identify where the call is coming from. Is it an impact-oriented or a for-profit-oriented call? If you are able to determine or differentiate the call, you will know how to push in your pitch deck to be able to be selected for that funding. So that's the way it is for pitching. So let's go straight on to the template I have. This is just a simple business pitching template that you can use in case you don't have a pitch deck template. This is a template you can use to design your own pitch deck, talk about your business. And when you are asked to submit a pitch deck, find out what they are asking of you. Include it in your pitch deck. So we have just 6 templates here, but you can expand it to include other things you want to have in that. So my first stage, as you can see it, you have your business name. So what is your business name? You need to write your business name on that first page. Whoever is going through your pitch deck, they should address you with your business name. So your business name should be here. Then if you have like pictures of your business, you can also include them, what you are doing, or your business logo, however you want it to look like. You can also include them in this aspect. And also you need to give a summary of what your business is doing and your location. Just as you can see, summary of what your business does. What are you doing? What is the business into? And where are you located? Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, Asaba, Port Harcourt. Where? Is it in Nigeria? Is it outside Nigeria? Your location also matters in this very first page. Then what is your products? You also need to list the uniqueness of those products. If you say you are rendering services, what makes you unique? Why should I patronize you? You know, we talked about this in the business model canvas and the business plan the last time. So I don't want to go back, dwelling too much on that. So what makes you unique? What makes you stand out? Why should I buy from you? You need to list all that in this aspect of the template also. Then the next page, you have your target audience. Who are your target audience? Yes. So who are your customers? Where are your customers? Where can we find your customers? This is this page. You also need to tell us everything about your customers. They are young adults, they are young professionals, they are retirees. Where are they? They work in bank, they work in blue chip organization. How? Then status, age. This is where you need to show. Please, who is annotating on the screen? Can you stop that? So tell us about your target audience. What are you providing for them? Who are they? Where are they? Where can we find them? Your target audience. We also dealt with it the last time. So you need to tell us who your customers are. So by the time I see your pitch deck, one of the things we do at Next Factory is once we receive your pitch deck, we will be able to decide that from this your pitch deck, oh, this is the person we are going to be funding. So your pitch deck should sell your business, should talk about your business. Now, the third page I have here is also, yes, you need to tell us your traction. What's your customer current production base? How many customers do you have? How did it begin? When did you start doing that business? Maybe what year did you started the business? Where are you now? How many customers have you been able to gather from that year? What have you achieved? Is your business incorporated? Do you have business accounts? You know, those stages of business, you need to list them for us. Let us know. Your business is registered with the CAC. You have your BN or you have your RC. Let us know. How many customers do you have? Do you have database for all your customers? How many products do you have? Okay, maybe you started with one particular product. You started with your plantain chips. And 2 years after, you've added 2 more products to it. So this is the page you need to now let us know that, oh, how it began. Story. This is where you need to tell your story. Tell the story of your business, because pitching is about storytelling. How did it start? Are you trying to solve a problem with your business? What happened? What motivated you to go into that business? This is where you need to tell us the story of your business, the stages of your business. How much are you making per month, per year, 2 years? When you started, how much were you making? And now, how much are you making? You need to tell us the story of your business in this particular template. And you keep it simple and short, just simple and short. You don't have to send many pages, 5, 6, 7 pages of the pitch deck should be able to tell us what you are doing, and we move on to the next person. Okay. Then we go again to the financials. You know, last time we also talked about your financials. You can't present your business plan without including your financials. So if you are looking at getting funding for that, your business growth, financials also matters. What is your startup capital? Have you checked to know how much exactly you need for that business? How much is your pre-opening expenses? In total, if your startup capital is 5 million, 10 million, you should be able to break it down. That, okay, you have startup stock, how much is it going into that? You have pre-opening expenses, how much is going into that? And everything about the funding, you need to let us see it clearly in your pitch deck. Your sources of funds, where are you getting the funds from? Is it from your personal savings, your family and friends, loan, grants, and so you need to also show to us the sources, the amount you hope to get from each of those sources. What percentage are you hoping to get from each of those sources? Then the financial indicators. How many months are you projecting? 12 months, 24 months? How many months? So what's your total turnover in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, and so your total gross profit? You need to show us workings and calculations under these sections, financials of your pitch deck. Once we have all this well stated, then we know you are good to go. Your competitors, who are your competitors also? You need to also tell us about what stands you out. Why are you better than the other competitors in your area, in that your location? You are not the only one doing that same business. So there must be something that makes you, that differentiates you from the other competitors. Something that will keep you in that business. Something that will give you an edge over others in that business. So who are your competitors? Here again, you need to list them. And of course, how do you stand out from others? So write about the stage your business is and how far you have come that the other competitors doesn't have say. Something that stands you out that I will find in your own business shop and I will not find in the other person's business shop. That is what gives you an edge. Why will I come and patronize you? That is what should give you an edge. So once you know all this, you have to then list them in these templates. Tell us, who are your competitors? Where are they? Why are you better than them? In a nutshell, when you are pitching, you just simplify all these things, especially if you are being given instruction to follow a particular guideline. Because different organizations have their own pitch deck templates. Like I said, Faith Foundation have their own pitch deck templates. Flourish Africa have their own pitch deck templates. And so on. TEF have their own pitch deck template. So you need to follow the guide, follow that instruction from that application you are submitting. So we are just giving you a simple template that you can work on. Build on this, improve on this, and expand on this, and get perfect in pitching your business to anybody. And that is why we work with this template. And of course, after your competitors, you need to add your team. And so your team members, who are your team members? Who are those making it happen? Who are those doing the work? Your operation manager, your HR, your admin, your accountant. Who are they? You need to list them as part of your team members when you are sending in your pitch. And of course, at the end of your last page, you have your contact us, your email address, your website, where we can go and check about you and read more about your business. So you must show us your website, your email, your phone number, your social media platforms. You need to also include them in your pitch deck. So even if we have gone through your pitch deck and see, we might need to say, okay, let's even check her out online. Let's see what she's doing, if she has a place online, if she has that visibility online. So that's why it matters that you include your social media pages when you send out your pitch deck for further checkup or further investigation about your business. Okay, so before we go into our breakout room, I also like to share a pitch deck. I want us to watch a pitching competition. So at this point, who will be the judge for that pitching competition now? So you place yourself as the judge while you are watching that pitching competition. Okay, so just hold on.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software. So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and anything related to your work, your documents, your chats, your whiteboards, your projects. The value of this, you don't have to buy 5 softwares. Good afternoon. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the
So you are free to watch
through Science and
to
Technology
watch
Initiative,
the pitching
which is
competition.
Catalyst Pitch Competition,
It's part of the
in
class.
partnership with the Dutch Academic Startup Competition and Ideas for Europe. The Performance Justice Initiative connects American businesses with premier entrepreneurs worldwide and empowers young innovators through skill building, mentoring, access to financing to develop startup solutions that address economic and development challenges. Working hand in hand with companies like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft year-round just builds economic prosperity and strengthens our ties around the world. Like the overall goal of the GS, GIST brings together the nation's entrepreneurs who can develop innovative solutions for today while also spurring tomorrow's economic growth. In just a few minutes, you will hear pitches from the 5 finalists of the Catalyst Pitch Competition. These 5 have been selected from thousands of entrepreneurs who applied, and they have worked hard to earn their spot on this main stage. I wish them the best of luck and thank the sponsors and judges for contributing their time and the prizes that help make this event possible. And I look forward to seeing who wins at the closing plenary in just a few hours. And with that, I would like to welcome and invite our MC, Brandon Andrews, co-founder of Gauge and casting consultant for ABC Television Shark Tank, to the stage. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Well, good afternoon, GES. Who's excited to hear pitches from the GIST Catalyst finalists this afternoon? I'm Brandon Andrews, very excited to be hosting today. I'm an entrepreneur and investor, and as Michael said, our firm runs a nationwide casting tour for ABC Shark Tank in the United States. I meet thousands and hear pitches from thousands of entrepreneurs, both in the US and around the world every year. But I like to tell you, I've heard pitches from these finalists over the past couple of days, and I'm super excited to see the 5 finalists pitch here on stage today. I knew this before, but now after going through the past couple of days with the GIST competition, I can say unequivocally that the spark of innovation and the grit that you need to grow a business over time, those attributes exist in every community, every culture, every country, every gender, but the resources aren't always there. And so this GIST Catalyst program brings those resources together for entrepreneurs, both in terms of mentorship from American subject matter experts. They also get the opportunity to showcase their work on global stages like this, and they get the opportunity to win support, both in terms of cash and also other prizes that you'll hear about a little bit later in the competition. So I'm excited about the opportunity to support these entrepreneurs and excited about what this competition means, not only for those on stage, but also for the countries that these entrepreneurs are representing. Here's how it'll work today. Each entrepreneur will have 3 minutes to pitch their business. They're going to stand here. I hope that everyone will clap for them when they get on stage. After those 3 minutes, our esteemed panel of judges will then have 3 minutes to do Q&A with the entrepreneurs to ask them questions. Following that, we will move to the next entrepreneur. The judges will provide scores for each one of the GIST Catalyst finalists, and of course, the entrepreneur with the highest score will win. The winners will be announced later on this afternoon at the closing plenary for this 2019 GES Summit here at the World Forum in The Hague in the Netherlands. Really excited again. Speaking of judges, let me introduce them. Many of them have not only provided time, but have also provided resources to make this competition happen. Start with Ms. Johanna Shelton from Google, Deborah Biggett from IBM, Ian McDonald from Microsoft, Stephen Lowry from Silicon Valley Bank, Maureen Bigroot from TomTom, Mason Skinbuff from Technical University of Eindhoven, and Bert Jenkins from the APG Assets. Give our judges a round of applause. Okay, so there are several categories for GIST. There's water, energy, connectivity, health, and food and agriculture. The winners of each of those individual competitions are now going to come to the stage and pitch their businesses again to win a lot of resources for their businesses here later today. The first entrepreneur that'll come to the stage is in the water category, Katie Taylor from Kathy Work.
At CapeWorks, we make efficient and portable solar-powered water pumps that enable smallholder farmers to cultivate their land year-round while using their existing cultivation techniques. We provide an alternative to depending on inconsistent monsoon rains or costly tool-based pumping. There are over 26 million smallholder farmers in eastern India, a region where water is available but lifting it is expensive. With increasing fuel prices and decreasing availability, these farmers are being forced not to cultivate in the summer season, a time when crops do require the most water, but when market returns for their harvest are the highest. So instead, farmers are leaving their families and homes for months at a time to do unskilled migratory labor. For a country that in a few short years will be the most populous on earth, this is a pressing issue. The opportunity is great and the need is dire for viable irrigation solutions for smallholder farmers, who make up 85% of all the farmers in India. The CapeWorks solar pump is that solution. Working with smallholder farmers throughout the product design process, we developed a solution that's perfectly fit for their needs. It's easy to use, it's portable, and it's efficient. The cornerstone of our proprietary technology, which we developed during graduate school at MIT, is a hyper-efficient centrifugal pump that's submersible. Now, we didn't go after efficiency with tool engineering. We did it because it matters to the farmer. High efficiency means less power is required. Less power means fewer solar panels, and fewer solar panels make the whole system more affordable to the farmer and more portable. So portability enables the farmer to secure their asset at home overnight and to rent it out to neighboring farmers for additional income. Our single switch and automatic operation and no installation means that anyone, both men and women, can easily pick up and use the CapeWorks pump. So for farmers using the CapeWorks system, not only are they earning more money by never paying for fuel again, by unlocking that profitable summer season, and by cultivating higher value crops year round, but they're also staying at home with their families and doing the dignified work of tending their land. We've had units in the field for 4 years now, piloting across various use cases and customer segments in 3 states in India. We moved to India full-time in early 2016 to build up a local team, to be closer to the customer, and to establish in-country manufacturing. And finally, this October, we are launching the CapeWorks pump into the market. We have over 16 inbound requests from distribution partners, and with over $14 billion total addressable market in Eastern India alone, there's certainly plenty to tackle domestically. However, looking forward, we see the potential for the CapeWorks pump to make impact for smallholder farmers worldwide, and that's really what drives us. At CapeWorks, our success comes from the success of smallholder farmers, simply when they grow more, earn more, and provide more for their families and communities. Thank you.
Now we'll have questions from our judges.
Thank you for a wonderful pitch. That's really delightful. But you're not an NGO, so can you tell us more about the business side of this? Absolutely, yes. So it's a single asset sale with a 2-year warranty. The product itself is $540 US, 36,000 rupees. That includes the pump, the panels, everything. We sell through distribution partners, but in order to ensure that the farmer is successful, we've been building up an ecosystem support. So this means that we're partnering with financial institutions to develop customer financing products that are specifically fit for the farmer, matching their income cycles, their lack of documentation, things like that, as well as working with NGOs to provide that agronomy support, things like that.
Thank you. Do you have a battery in the device as well, or is it straight from solar to the pump?
We piloted with multiple different versions, and right now we have it where you can have a battery or not. So that's sort of, you could have the CakeWorks Lite and then battery and step up the battery size. So it depends. Different types of farmers require the battery. So
Distinct pleasure. Oh, good afternoon. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the finals of the Global Innovation.
but when market returns for their harvest are the highest.
I'm Joey, and I'm one of
Sorry.
the AI voices from Speechland. You listen to this until now.
highest. So instead, farmers are leaving their families and homes for months at a time to do unskilled migratory labor. For a country that in a few short years will be the most populous on earth, this is a pressing issue. The opportunity is great and the need is dire for viable irrigation solutions for smallholder farmers. As well as working with NGOs to provide that agronomy support, things like that.
Thank you. Do you have a battery in the device as well, or is it straight from solar to the pump?
We piloted with multiple different versions, and right now we have it where you can have a battery or not. So that's sort of, you could have the CakeWorks Lite and then battery and step up the battery size. So it depends. Different types of farmers require the battery, such as nursery, and other do not.
Thank you. Any competition?
Yes, there is some innovation going in the smallholder space. A lot of it's in Eastern Africa, where mobile banking is prevalent. But to be honest, most of the solar pumps that are out there for the small solar pumps tend to get much less flow, which means they require drip irrigation to cover the same amount of land. And this is where, again, our high efficiency comes in. For the same amount of panels, we can give 2 or 3x the flow, allowing farmers to maintain their current practices.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the team you have in place to deliver it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my co-founder, Victor Leshniewski, and I met at MIT in our in the Tata fellowship that Tata started at MIT and IIT Bombay. We also have mentors from the ecosystem in India who know clean tech, who know NGOs. We're supported by the Tata Trust, so this gives us great outreach into the NGOs. We have 2 new teammates, Vivek and Rahul, who are just all-star engineers, product management. So we've really spent a lot of time assembling a quality team who can deliver this product.
Great, thank you.
How do you intend to scale across several states? And I mean, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of these people. So how are we going to reach them?
No, it's a great question. Distribution partners is the way to go. You know, there's no reason for us to try to build out our own distribution model. We're not going to be the people to do that. We have had these inbound requests for distribution, but what we're focusing right now on is to make that recipe really perfected for exactly what those distribution partners will need for the farmers to be successful, for them to be successful. So after we've got that set up, we will spread across India as well as Eastern Africa, Nepal, Bangladesh. We've got prospects worldwide.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next entrepreneur is in the energy sector. Give our judges here a second to calculate their scores. The energy. All right, our next entrepreneur is in the energy sector, Igor Zazik and Nice Visions. Right. It is the first time in human history when more than 60% of people on this planet are living in the cities. These urban dwellers are also consuming more than 75% of all available electric energy. To produce this energy, we are creating an awful lot of CO2, which is damaging our environment. To make our cities carbon-free, it would be best if we replace all these CO2-based energy sources with renewables. And best if we can do it, if this energy can be produced on the spot and consumed on the spot. In my mind, it means solar panels employed on massive scale. However, imagine that in a historical city like Den Haag, every building has to be covered in solar panels. I'm not very happy with this image. I'm Igor Žáček, I'm founder and CEO of Nice Visions, and we have developed a solution which is aesthetically pleasing, preserves visual aesthetics of the city, and allows application of solar panels on massive scale. We have created solar tiles, which is first generation of a product, especially designed for areas where energy production is equally important as it looks. It's a facade system producing electric energy, and it's inspired by one of the oldest and most common building materials, tiles. Nowadays, when you want to build a house with solar facade, either you can use two things: standard solar panels, which are nice, but which are cheap but quite ugly, or you can go for tailor-made solution, which is very expensive. We are working with architects and real estate developers active in urban areas in the States where tile tradition is very strong at present, like Portugal. In fact, we have our pilot project now in Lisbon, in a historical center of the city, which proves that our product is ready for most demanding urban environment. And we came here to find partners, potential sales partners like real estate developers. We are also searching for guidance to help our company grow in order to preserve the beauty of our cities and make them carbon free. Thank you very much.
I have questions from our judges also come down to give the judges a little closer look at the comments.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Igor. Very nice pitch. It's indeed beautiful. What about the efficiency of the solar panels?
Well, we are talking per cell. It's 24% per cell, but because of the orientation and all the shadings present in urban area, we presume that it will be reduced roughly by 30%.
But is it different and lower than standard solar panels, and how much then?
You know, you can also take solar panel and put it in a wrong position, and it will perform worse. But we are kind of like trading efficiency for the area, because with a standard solar panel, you can place them on just several optimal places on the roof, and we essentially can cover whole building.
A lot of these places already A lot of these places already have solar panels. So do you have evidence that people will swap them out and pay the cost to do that?
I'm architect by training, so I know our client, and aesthetics of solar panels is a main deterrent in application in the city. It's not only aesthetics; it's also, for example, legal aspect. Like in Lisbon, in a historical center, it's forbidden to install solar panels because it will ruin the graphics.
What is your financing question, and what does an investor get back for it?
To be honest, we are currently not searching for investor. We are waiting to validate our pilot project and to have solid numbers, and then we can really talk about investment. And definitely, we will need to. Our needs would be to invest to scaling, so essentially massive sales operation.
Thanks. How are you competing with something body like Elon Musk, who can throw a lot of resource at it with his solar roof tiles as well? And how do you compare in pricing to the opposition?
So I don't think we are competing. We are complementing each other. It's a roof tile in combination with facade tile. So that's a good combination. But if we imagine that if Tesla decides to do new product like for facades, we are hoping that we'll move fast and establish ourselves at least in European market where thousands of great tradition.
Which market would you go to first? You start in Portugal, and then what's your next? Where do you want to skate? Where do you want to go?
So we are really following cultural traditional styles. So Spain, Portugal, then we're talking about Latin America, and essentially, well, how colonization went, because the cultural tradition was also spread. That's all we have time for. So thank you very much for. All right, give our judges a couple of seconds here to finish tabulating their scores. While they do that, we get for Shark Tank in any given season about 50,000 applications from entrepreneurs all over the U.S. and often from other places around the world. It's really incredible to not only see the diversity of types of businesses, but also the diversity in the types of entrepreneurs that are coming to pitch on the show. David John, who has been a GES participant in the past, one of the sharks from Shark Tank, has said that mission-driven businesses, so businesses that are solving critical world problems, are really the future of business, and we're getting a glimpse of that future here on this stage today. Now I want to introduce it for the connectivity section of GIST, Daphne Severini and Cleo Newsters.
Hello, I'm Daphne, co-founder and chief commercial officer of Clean News Tours. In Clean News, we aim to generate universal cultural awareness and guide you in every part of the world utilizing pioneering technology. We've started this by creating high-quality audio tours that we distribute via the biggest travel agencies in the world. So let's say you want to visit a top attraction like the Colosseum or the Acropolis. You're going to go online and search for the entry ticket to book it beforehand, but you're not really keen on booking a guided tour because you're not really the person that takes guided tours. So there is where we come in. We have created this package that includes the entry ticket along with the audio tour for top attractions in Greece and Italy, and we sell them through big distributors like Expedia, Booking.com, Get Your Guide, and TripAdvisor. So we then help not only travelers with an ultimate self-guided package, with an independency and at a low cost, but also we give them the opportunity for the big OTAs to increase their profitability by offering an unlimited service. So we also have managed to scale the content creation because we have created a platform where content creators, culture and tourism professionals, tour guides, travel writers, to log in our platform and create their own audio tours for top attractions and city walks using our award-winning storytelling methodology. Because our content is what distinguishes us apart from the other competitors. We have created a specific methodology through which each tour follows a unique scenario and the stories follow a different area, each one. So in this way, we managed to create an engaging digital experience and an easy to follow audio tour. So all of this know-how that we've developed and the data that we got from our travelers have led us to become number one in those biggest marketplaces for tours and activities in the audio tours category. And now those big companies come to us to create for them audio tours.
Hello, class.
So,
Sorry, I need to
last November,
stop
we
sharing
received
now
increasing
so I
funding
can
of
optimize the
$200
sound.
and we managed to have a growth of 1.5K% from last year. We will project that in 2019, we will have gross revenues of 640K.
having served 24,000 travelers with a margin of 25%. So what I wanted to say is that this is just the tip of the mountain for us. Thank you.
Now we'll have questions from our judges.
Sorry, thank you. Could you address quality control on the content and the feedback and how you ensure a high quality product?
Yes. So most of the times, especially with the top attractions, we do the research ourselves. So we post an ad, we collect CVs, and we prefer travel writers and tourist guides who already have such experience. Then we help them with the methodology. We give them an example. And at first, we help them with the first point of interest, and they go ahead and do it all by themselves. So this is the structure of how we build the content.
Are you using things like augmented reality and location tracking? How does that practically work?
So basically, audio tours is the beginning. We tried that to see how the market would respond. AR is the next step, specifically AI, actually, because, devices do not support so easily AR right now. And we want to be very flexible in that. Travelers have to have it on their phone offline. So you need to have small size files in order to do that. But it's the next thing that we're going to do.
You talk about 25% margin. What's your business model exactly? You take a commission?
Exactly. Like other tours and activities, we sell it online. Distributors get commission. But because we sell a lot of the times the entry ticket as well, the margin that I'm talking about is that 640K is the gross revenue. Then the revenue without the entry tickets is around 200K. So yes, commission per ticket.
You were talking about the content providers, so that's a community of people who contribute content to you. So how do you incent them and pay them?
Exactly. So we have two models. Especially for the top attractions, we try to buy the content for a specific price and then have the IP for us and get all the commission. On the other hand, for theme tours, because that's another part of our business, each author gets commission per booking.
Can I just ask a question about distribution partners? Because it sounds like you're selling both tours and tickets, and a number of your partners are also doing the same thing. So how do you work the channel to make sure that you're capturing the value?
Okay, so when you go to, let's say, Get Your Guide, you will find the ticket on its own, but then you will find it along with an audio guide. So that's exactly the market that we're targeting, because it's like an add-on. It doesn't come in contrast with the entry ticket on its own. We just have this gap of the market, and we're filling it up.
What does your founding team look like?
Okay, so I'm the business person and salesperson. We have a brilliant CDO who is the head of the architecture of the platform, because most of the things, sometimes they think we have this tour guide app. It's not a tour guide app. It's a whole thing other than that. And our CEO is a conservator of art. So he is responsible for the content and the content creators.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you.
This is my salary for my online job that I have working for a USA-based company. And I'm not from the US, I'm from Portugal. Getting a job like this is not as...
All right, give our judges another second here. The connectivity category covered a really broad array of technology innovations and tech-enabled solutions from around the world. But this one really gets at the heart of connecting people, that cultural interchange, which is so important, and why events like this GES Summit are so important. As entrepreneurs, you control what you can control, and one of the things that we can control as entrepreneurs is building relationships with other entrepreneurs from around the world, and hopefully innovations like Clio Exchange and others will help us continue to do that. The health category will be next. Christina York and Spellbound.
When patients don't cooperate with medical treatment, cost of care skyrockets for hospitals, and patient outcomes are negatively impacted. Now, non-cooperation can mean not following your doctor's directives. It can also mean for a child simply not holding still. When my youngest daughter was 3, she put something in her ear. We took her to the hospital to have it removed. And because she was terrified and wouldn't hold still, the doctor first physically restrained her and then put her under general anesthesia in the OR just so he could safely use tweezers on her ear. I got the bill for this. It was astronomical. But more importantly, she was traumatized. She's less likely to trust healthcare professionals in the future, perpetuating the problem into adulthood. Spellbound uses immersive, augmented reality technology to increase patient cooperation with treatment. We add immersive 3D digital experiences to the real world through the screen of a smartphone, much like Pokemon Go. We increase cooperation in 3 ways. The first is pain management. We can create immersive virtual worlds that can be used during painful procedures like catheterizations. The second is we improve patient education by creating 3D simulations of procedures. So, for example, an MRI, a patient knows what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, and is less likely to need sedation. And the third way is that we digitally transform physical spaces. So we can turn hallways, patient rooms, into undersea adventures to encourage physical rehabilitative movement, like getting up and walking after surgery to reduce sepsis. We went to market, our product is protected by 2 patents, and we have a 3rd patent pending. We went to market in 2017. We have more than 25 hospitals across the US paying an annual subscription to use Spellbound on the devices they already own. Many of those hospitals are top tier, like Stanford, Cleveland Clinic, New York Presbyterian. And our customers see the results and become research partners. Like MD Anderson, top cancer hospital in the world, is looking at how Spellbound manages pain and reduces opioid for post-surgical cancer patients. We serve children right now, but we will move to serve adults in the future. And our big vision is to be the 3D platform for healthcare, aggregating and standardizing the delivery of 3D content to hospitals around the world. We are a team of engineers, artists, healthcare professionals, and we are also parents and sufferers of chronic conditions. We are Spellbound, and we are revolutionizing how patients engage with healthcare. Thank you.
Can you talk about how you get hospitals to adopt the product, and then how you incorporate a more distributed feedback from nurses and patients, and how that works cohesively?
So our go-to-market strategy initially was a land and expand idea. We knew we were going to come in an enterprise level deal with a technology that was untested in healthcare. So we enter through single individual departments. We started with a centralized therapy department that could expose the product across many departments, gained trust through success stories over time. We're now at the point where we can start, we would upsell, cross-sell through, to the chief of peds or to the CIO of the hospital. Now we can start entering through the C-level because we've got enough brand awareness. So we can start to diversify our sales strategy around that.
Christina, thank you for your pitch. It seems you already have a pretty large and seasoned team. Can you elaborate on that?
We have, the core leadership team is 4 of us, myself as the CEO, McKinley as the head of business development and sales, we have a marketing person, and we have a head engineer. Because we can't produce content right now, but we won't long term, we'll be a platform where we can allow contributed content in the future. We use all our artists and 3D modelers as contractors to keep cost of production low at this time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're using phones for the experience. Are you providing them to the hospital, and also have you thought about for, like, particularly when the operation or whatever's coming on, using headsets?
Yes, we started with the mobile devices because it was a lower barrier to entry in the hospitals. The staff already own them, the hospital already buys them, they already have sterilization protocols in place. They did not have to develop a management system for hardware. Now, however, in many cases, hands-free is a better experience. And therefore, we just wanted to educate the market and warm them up. And we are starting to develop products already, particularly for nursing training, that are built for headsets. So we felt like we had to kind of bring the market along with us. Trusted devices that people are comfortable with is always a better way to introduce a new technology.
Hi, what have you learned from the first 17 hospitals around revenue model and pricing and how you'll think about that going forward?
Yes. Going in with a subscription model was a difficult sell to many of these departments. And the fact that we were able to do it and then upsell, cross-sell spoke volumes to us that there was willingness to try these models. We didn't fit the bill as a large enterprise software like electronic health records at first. But when we think about digitally transforming space, we've learned that we can sell into different departments like facilities or fit into a construction budget for a large hospital rebuild initially, and then move ourselves into a permanent line item in their budget for the annual subscription fee. So we do think about pricing in terms of pricing in models that are familiar to the hospital, like for construction budgets per square foot.
Right, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. I'll help you up the stairs. Can you believe we're almost at the end of the 2019 GIST Catalyst Finals? We have one more pitch before we're done today. We'll give the judges another minute here to tabulate their scores. Haven't the pitches been incredible so far? Our last category, certainly not least, is food and agriculture. I'll introduce the entrepreneur here in just a second. Technology, and I think this is a great example of it, for technology's sake, it's difficult to adopt. It's difficult to build a business around, but when technology is actually solving a critical problem, in this case, a critical health problem, you have something that can really potentially grow and also change lives. So incredible representative for the health category. Next, for the food and agriculture category, we'll have Zoe Wells and Drover.
Livestock are responsible for more greenhouse gas emissions per year than the entire transportation industry. Something needs to change, and I'm here to tell you that the solution lies within agriculture itself. My name is Zoe Wells. I am an engineer and I'm an environmentalist. The past few years, I've been studying regenerative grazing. It turns out that by strategically moving where livestock graze, farmers can actually capture carbon back into the soil. If this was done on just 25% of agriculture land, it would completely offset all emissions caused by agriculture. On top of that, it increases land productivity by 300% per acre, thus increasing the bottom line for the farmer. So if there is a solution that is not only more profitable, but more sustainable, why isn't every farmer doing it? It's hard work. It requires reliable, portable fencing and knowledge of when to rotate animals. And because technology hasn't changed in nearly 60 years, this is simply too time-consuming and too expensive. Take electric fencing, for example. It's supposed to be a portable, reliable fencing solution. But it takes hours each week to set up because there's no way of remotely controlling it. And once farmers do get it set up, it shorts frequently, allowing valuable livestock to escape. At Drover, we believe farmers deserve better. That's why we're developing the world's first livestock management platform. Our initial product is a solar-powered IoT electric fence that can be controlled from a phone over any network, anywhere. It takes just 10 minutes to set up and has features like remote on-off control, short detection, and user repairability. We've tested it on 5 pilot farms in Colorado and have proven that it saves the average farmer 14 hours a week while acting as an alarm system for $100,000 worth of livestock assets per farm. But that's just the beginning. We have created more than a fence energizer. We have a powerful base station for future products to connect to. In 2020, we're releasing collars that track water availability and forage availability. These help the farmers know when to fill water tanks and when to rotate animals. And in 2021, we're releasing collars that not only track animal health, but actually herd and direct livestock where to graze using our AI algorithm. We are the first company to build a platform that uses all of these technologies in one autonomous grazing system. and we're quickly moving. In the last year, we have built a prototype to a working product and just took 60 pre-orders. Drover will not only change the face of farming, but of the earth. Thank you so much.
Good job. Now, judges.
I'm a big believer in regenerative grazing. There's a really cool ranch called Tomcat in Pescadero, California, which I've visited many times. And they work with a conservancy in California to try to educate other farmers. But their neighbors could see how successful Tomcat was and how much water they had and how they had better yield. And they're having a terrible time educating other ranchers about how to do this. So how are you going to get this out there?
Yeah, so you're right. There are a lot of organizations that finally understand the real benefits of this. The main issue is some ranchers don't care about the environment, and that's fair. So they care about their yield. So we're teaching this in two ways. Like, yes, it's good for the environment, but it's going to increase your productivity per acre by 300%. You're going to be way more profitable. So we do that by quantifying all of these financial metrics, and then also we're working on partnering with farms like that already have the environmental data.
Where are you with the competition? I'm thinking about from my home country, New Zealand. Gallagher Electronics dominate the industry in a lot of countries, and how do you compete against them?
Yeah, so obviously Gallagher is an incredible company. They have a lot of products. They haven't been innovating their fencing that much in the past 60 years. So that's why we started with the fence, and it's easy entry to market. Farmers understand how to use it. We have additional benefits, and then we hope to innovate beyond the fence, which is something that Gallagher and a lot of these other companies with kind of bloated business models aren't doing.
You talk about AI. Where are you going to get the data from to train your AI algorithms?
So we're using a number of things. My co-founder actually has a cohort of 10,000 farms in Zambia, and we're working with cattle ranchers there who actually herd cattle by actually tapping on them and using a series of sounds. So we're tracking all of that and then building it into the platform. And then working with animal scientists as well.
Could you talk about your pricing?
Yeah, so our business model is actually mainly subscription. So we're a hardware product and a software. They can buy the hardware for a one-time upfront cost. We don't make very much margins off that. We're not trying to sell that for a lot of money. Our real revenue model is in the subscription, and this proves to actually be more affordable for the farmer and also better for the business.
Do you use suppliers then for the hardware?
What was that?
Suppliers. Do you use suppliers for the hardware, or is it your picture that you want to produce it yourself as well?
Yeah, we're partnering with one manufacturer in China for our circuit board, and then we're manufacturing the rest in-house.
And the fences? I mean, they are portable fences, right?
So we build the fence energizer, which is the power source. And so our fence energizer can connect to any fence that's already set up for electric anywhere.
That's all we have time for. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Okay. So let's come back to class. Awesome. So let's come back to class. Let's come back to discussion. So what have you learned so far? Like I said, you'll be the judge for this session. Before we get to know the winner for that pitching competition. So based on what you have all watched, who can you say should be the winner for that pitching competition based on your own experience, what you've seen, what you've had, what you watched from that video presentation? So who should be the winner? Now it's time for you to judge who should be the winner for that pitching competition. Hello? Hello? Yeah, so I've asked the question. You've watched the video, so I want to hear your view now. Who should be the winner? Who do you think should win? You are now the judge. Place yourself in the position of a judge now. Judge them. Before we go back to find out the winner, based on what you have heard or watched or seen, who should be the winner for that pitching competition? Just be fair, because that's the way it is in pitching. Be fair to yourself first.
Hello, ma'am. Considering the fact that the first two was not very clear, I would think the lady with the what is it called the name now? The one with pain relieving, using AI to relieve pain. I would go with that.
Healthcare, you mean the healthcare lady, the lady that presented, the fourth lady, right?
Yes, the fourth lady.
Great. Okay, let's hear from others before we go back to. So why did you say the fourth lady? Yeah, let's hear from you. Why?
Yes, like I said earlier, that because the first two were not so clear. But considering, yes, they were not so clear, so I wouldn't be able to actually evaluate those first two. But that fourth lady, number one, I think she's got the composure. Number two, the content, what she and I think she even used the story to present the yes.
Yeah.
And then number three is that I think the impact of what she's also presenting, because it's something that is actually it is everybody can relate. It's relatable. You cannot relate to it. And when you go to the hospital, one of those things that scares you of the hospital is how to endure the pain. But when you now have something that will make you not to even feel as if not to feel as if you are not even experiencing the pain. So I think it's
awesome. Thank you very much for that. So Ololade, yeah, let's hear you. Ololade Okpeyemi.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think I will also go with the healthcare lady from because I love the way she started the story, talking about her sister and what prompted her to go to that. So she gave enough data and research on what they've done so far and what she has been able to achieve, how she has worked with other healthcare workers and lives.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So do we have another option? Stella Leka. Are you going? Is it the same lady? Or do we have another person that you think should win that pitch? Let's start from there. Stella. Okay. All right. So at this point, I can't yes. Okay, Stella, that's noted. Very good. So we've all observed very well, but I won't tell you the winner. We'll still go back to find out the winner. So at this point, we'll be going to our breakout room. What you'll be doing in your breakout room now is using this pitch deck that I've walked through with you. The same assignment you did the last time, business model canvas, that business you identified. Now put it into a deck now. That is what you'll be doing in your group out session. The breakout session, sorry. So that's the task. That business plan assignment. Now bring the business plan into that pitch deck template. So when we come back, get a representative from each of your group who will then come and talk about that business, pitch that business when we come back. for our class. So now is a breakout room sections. After we come back from the breakout room sections, we'll have the second aspect of the class. That's the pitch deck presentation proper. What you should know about pitching. So we also learn some strategies and modalities of pitching in the next class. But meanwhile, we are going out for our breakout room sessions, and for the next 30 minutes, that's what you'll be doing in your breakout group. The business plan you did last time, so now bring that business idea into this pitch deck template. Get the representative to pitch that for you when we come back. Yeah, so the pitch deck template, you should get that from your group, from the group WhatsApp. The next factory admin will share that in the WhatsApp group. So you pick it up from there and work on it. So bring that business model canvas, that business idea you generated the last time. Now put it into that pitch deck, get a representative to pitch for your group. So the breakout rooms are open now. You have to join your breakout room and go for your assignments. So you have to be back by 12. We have 30 minutes to do this. So by 12, we go to the next class. All right, so the breakout rooms are open now. Yeah, so you are free to join your rooms and do your task, do your assignments, to come back in the next 30 minutes. That same group, go back to the same group you joined last week. Yeah, the rooms are open now, so just join your group and do the assignment, do your tasks, do your classwork, and come back to the general class in the next 30 minutes.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
Okay, so we're going into the...
Tosi for mini pen.
Okay, so... Okay, I'm trying to share my... let me share my screen so we can start the class properly.
Okay, ma. We are here with you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are supposed to have our group pictures first before we go into the session. So are we ready for the group pictures? So for the group pictures, we are all going to turn on our videos, and we'll have the pictures quickly so we can move on. Yes, so it's time to turn on your video now for the group picture. So Safat, if you're ready for us, I think we are good to go. You are still discussing your streams of income. This is another class. Don't worry, you have the time to make your presentation. So first, we need to have our group pictures, then we'll go into the second aspect of the class. All right, safe facts. Are we good to go? Okay. So while that's we're preparing for that, let me just
Okay, sorry about that, everyone. My other device is not, the mic is not working. I don't know what's wrong. I think it's a phone issue. Okay, so I'm starting the screenshots now, please. Apologies.
okay. Are you done?
Okay, ma, are you done?
Wait 1 second. I want to see if I've gotten everybody. Because I think some people just turned on their own videos now. Okay, we've gotten everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, so you can turn off your videos now. So we move. Okay. All right, so pitching your idea. And what is pitching exactly? Pitching is a presentation of your business plan to an investors. That's just it. Pitching is telling about your business, sharing your business details, business information to investors, to lenders, to potential investors, those that want to provide funding for you to run that business. That's the essence of pitching. So with that video that we watch, you can see that they were pitching for funding from an organization, a different organization came together to put down the funding for that, whoever will be the winner to get that funding to run their businesses. So that's the way it is. Most of the time, companies, organizations just come and say, okay, we have this fund and we want to share it. We want to give it out to entrepreneurs to support their businesses, just like Tony Elumelu give $5,000 every year to 1,000 entrepreneurs in Africa. So that is funding. He has made that funding available, and he keep making that funding available year in, year out, from January to March. If you follow, you have the chance to also submit your pitch, submit your application to be selected for that funding. It's available. Flourish Africa is available. She just awarded 3 million naira to female entrepreneurs to also support them in their business endeavors also. So you don't just get this funding. Like, this funding will not just come to you. You have to show us that you have the skills, and that is why you have to pitch for it. So you need to pitch to get that funding. So that's just the essence of pitching. So pitching is a process that needs to be prepared for. As you can see from the video you also watched, that those people, those ladies and the guys that came to pitch, they had already prepared. They were well prepared before coming to stage to pitch. So you need to prepare for your pitching. You need to know your numbers. You need to know your business. When you are talking about your business, you need to be confident and tell us the real impact of that your business. That's why you are to pitch. Now, your pitching must be engaging. For instance, you start with storytelling. If you are able to include storytelling into your pitching, definitely you get the audience attention. You get the judge's attention through your story. So pitching is talking about your business in a story form. So it must be engaging. It must catch the attention of those who are listening to you. That's all about pitching. How about idea pitching? Whether you are building a new product, or maybe you want to add a new features to that product, and you need funding. Funding will not just come to you. You will need to pitch the product idea clearly to the stakeholders or potential users. And without this, you will risk building something that will neither be useful or feasible. So you can pitch for ideas and get funding. You can pitch for startup and get funding. You can also pitch for existing businesses and get funding. What matters is just for you to understand what they are calling for. If they are calling for startup and you have an idea, you've not even started your business, why should you go for that pitching? So you need to know the call at every particular time. Tony Elumelu will call for startup and you are in idea stage or you are an existing business. So definitely you can't go for Tony Elumelu fund because you are not a startup. Startup is between 1 to 3 years. And investors or donors, they provide funding for startup because they want to help them grow. They believe that if you are able to grow from 3 years, you know, when you started your business 1 to 3 years, that 3 years is always tough. And a lot of businesses fail within that 3 years. So investors want to help you to provide that support for you to make sure that in those 3 years, you don't fail. So if it is mentorship, they provide mentorship. If it is funding, they provide funding just to help you scale. And that is why they are not providing funding for existing businesses. Although Tony Elumelu have different shades of funding, if you are able to get the $5,000 from him the very first time as a startup business, there's another level of funding that he provides for an existing business. Maybe in your 4th year, your 5th years, then there's another funding for you from that same TEF. So you are funding, you are pitching to get a fund. And this is just an example of myself and a colleague of mine. We went to pitch for a building solution. And this was an idea. So you need to know the call, like I said. If it's an idea, if they're funding, if the call is for idea pitching, then you go and pitch for your idea. So by the time you get the funding for that idea, you can then start up the business with that same funding you've gotten. So definitely there is funding for idea stage. Now, what makes a great pitch? You need to understand your pitching scope. You also need to gain insight to the investors' records and funds available. You gain insight to that investor's record by searching them online to know who they are. Who is this organization calling for funding? You know, I keep repeating TEF, Flourish Africa, and the likes because they are just there. If you search online, you will see them, and this is what they do all the time, making sure they provide funding to support SMEs, entrepreneurs in their early stage of business. So research them, gain insights about their investment package. Do they actually have the funds? And that is why some entrepreneurs, you just send in your pitch deck everywhere. And at the end of the day, they will tell you are not selected. You are not selected, not that your pitch deck is not good, but maybe those organizations don't have that funding. So it is your own duty to now find out this organization that is calling to give out this funding. Who are they? Where are they coming from? Do they have the track record of consistent investing in entrepreneurs? You need to do your research on that. Then there are components of pitch deck you need to consider when you are sending out your pitch deck. You also need to be knowledgeable about your business idea in mind. Before you go for your pitching competition, it's time to sit down and learn about the available funds and the investors before going to pitch. Yes, like I said, who are they? Where are they coming from? Do they have the funding? You need to know, you need to research and get your understanding about that organization before you go for the pitching. And part of your pitching competition, describe your vision. Describe the problem you are solving. What problem have you identified? Like that lady now talked about health issue. So what problem is your business solving? What's the solutions you have in dealing with that problem, in tackling that problem? So what's your traction? How do you want to make money? What's the business side of that, the problem and the solutions you have identified? Who are your competitors? And also your financials. Financials keep coming back because yes, we need to know your numbers. And another thing about pitching, you need to manage your time. We have different time slots for pitching competition. As we go on in this presentation, you know the different type of pitching and you know the different type of time allotment for each of the pitching competition. So follow up, especially if it is a pitch deck thing, you are asked to submit your pitch deck. You need to follow up and ask, how far? I submitted my pitch deck. I've not heard from you. What's the next thing? You need to follow up after you have submitted your pitch deck, especially if you have not been called for the physical pitching. Then we have the component of pitch deck, what you should include in your pitch deck when you are creating your own pitch deck. First, your problem. Your identified problem. You have to state it. And you state the problem you have identified. Is it problem around waste? Is it a problem around food, agriculture? Is it a problem around technology? Identify your problem. Then what's the solution you're also bringing on board in solving that problem? What solution do you have? It also matters when you are putting up your pitch deck. So if you have been able to identify the problem, there must be a solution for that problem. Then your traction. How did it start? Where are you? What happened? What motivated you to starting this business? Why are you in that business? How much did you start? You started the business with how much? Currently, where are you? And where do you hope to get to in the next year? Your traction. You also need to include this. Then your market opportunities. What opportunities do you have? What skills do you have to get that opportunity? The last time we talked about the SWOT analysis. Your weakness, your strengths, your opportunities, and the threats of that business. So what are those opportunities you have that will make you prosper in that business line. Another one you should look at is your uniqueness. What sets you apart? What makes you unique? You are selling food. What makes you unique that the other person doesn't have? What sets you apart? Then when you are going for your pitching, consider your success story and also the story of impact. Oh, through this business, we have been able to affect life, provide food. Maybe you are solving food insecurity, food problem. And you say, oh, through your business, you have been able to provide enough food to so community in numbers. So your success story matters. Then the impact of that your business in that your community, in that your area, what's the impact of that business? Do you have the sustainable development goals as part of your impact? Do you consider the SDG as part of your impact in that business? And nowadays, before they even fund you, they want to know if you are SDG compliant. And SDG, we have goal 1 to 17. So which of the goals is your business supporting? Goal 1 now is talking about ending poverty. So if you're ending poverty, through which means, if that is the problem you are solving, through which means, if it is goal 2, that's your own, the problem you're also solving, through which means. Then who are your competitors? This business, this snacks business you are doing, who are you competing with? List them, name them, and differentiate what makes you have edge over your competitors. Then what business model are you using? Is it for profit? Is it non-profit? Is it B2B? Business to business? Is it business to customers? What's your business model? Do you sell? Is it to sell and get money? Yeah, we need to know your model. How are you making money? What model are you running that is bringing in money to that business? Then your team. Who are in your team? So when you are listing your team member, you also need to consider their expertise. Yes, you need to list why your team member are the best team in the world. You have to tell us that you have the best accountant, you have the best operation manager, you have the best tech person that handle your technical aspects. Or maybe you have the best team that handle your social media pages in terms of marketing, or you have the best marketing team. Just tell us who are your team members and what do they have, what is their qualifications, and of course your financials. Financials will always come again because we want to know your numbers. We want to know the inflow, the cash flow, the money that is coming into that business, so that when we invest in you, we want to know our return on investments. We want to know if we cash out our cash back at the end of the investment. Yeah, so you should consider this as components of your pitch deck when you are creating your own pitch deck. So know who you are pitching to. It's not every investors or every funders you want to just go and submit your pitch deck to, or you want to go and stand in their front to pitch. Know who you are pitching to. Know your potential investors. You need to consider that when you accept an investment, it's not about more money. Because a lot of people look at grant as more money. You get the grants, you run, the next thing you travel. You are not even looking at the partnership you are going to get from that business. I know a lot of people that got the TEF application funding, and the business they submitted, they claim they are doing, they are not even, they didn't even go back to that business. And of course, they got the grant and traveled with it. So the business had already failed. And in so doing, you didn't consider the partnership, you didn't consider that relationship you are going to build with the funders or the investors. You are just interested in the money. So don't be like that. Look beyond the money. Look at the partnership. Look at the mentorship. Look at the relationship you build from those investors. And also, you must perform your due diligence and research potential investors before making your pitch. Who are your potential investors? In checking out these potential investors, you need to consider your sector. The investors might be calling entrepreneurs in fashion industry, and you are in agric industry. Why should you submit your pitch deck there? You will not be considered because they've stated it already that this funding is for only those who are in fashion line. So do you want to now change your business to fashion line now because of that funding? No. So if you have been able to research and know who the investors are and the organizations they want to invest in, then you won't just send in your pitch deck anyhow. And you won't have this doubting mind that, oh, they are going to steal my idea. They are going to steal my idea. Who want to steal your idea? Nobody have time. Because they are reviewing thousands of applications. I told you of an application I just reviewed last week. Thousands of applications. So nobody have your time. We want to review and go to the next one. So nobody want to steal your idea. So, but for you to guide your work, then don't just submit your pitch deck to where it's not needed. Because some entrepreneurs try to get in front of every investor despite their industry expertise or firm's investment stage. You have read from the eligibility criteria that, oh, we are investing in 1 to 3 years businesses, startup. Some will even tell you 18 to 35 years businesses. So are you in that category? If you're not in that category, so why should you send in your pitch deck? Definitely, you will not be selected. And that's frustration for entrepreneurs because you say, oh, I've been submitting my pitch deck. I've never been selected. Did you check the criteria first? So you need to do your due diligence. Another thing, ask questions. What stage do they invest in? If you are in the earliest stages of business development, you won't receive growth equity. So if you see the funding, the grant score, and they're saying for growth equity, and meanwhile you're a startup, then why should you send in your pitch? And growth equity is mostly reserved for mature companies that need capital to expand operations. Or you want to enter a new market or acquire another businesses, just like NEPC with AGOA and USAID. They are funding some entrepreneurs to extend their businesses to the US through exportation, and they are providing funding for those businesses. But then you need to be in that age, that eligibility criteria. So you need to research to know about all this. Ask questions. So before making your pitch, you should have a rough estimate of the money and resources you need to launch your business. If I may ask, how much exactly do you need to start up that business of yours? Or how much have you used in starting up that business of yours? You need to know. Ask yourself. And you know this by doing your due diligence. What do you need? You list them all. Last time we talked about the business model canvas where we stated all this. Your costs. What are your costs inherent? What do you need to run that your business? Your key resources. So by the time you know your key resources and you tag them monetary, and you're able to now come to a conclusion that, oh, fine, I'll need 5 million to start my business. So if a grant call, you now see a grant call of 5 million, you know that that is for you. That means a call for 3 million naira, just like Folorunsho Alakija is doing, giving out 3 million naira for business owners, women in business. So you know that, oh, 3 million naira is not for you. So you won't apply for Flourish Africa. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you'll be frustrated. Except you want to now bring down that cost to fit into the 3 million naira that she's giving. That's another way to also get into such program.
Don't use that. Don't listen again. Like I don't tell her to.
Don't they?
So she don't even.
Hello.
Now come just listen to me like. Now come see come. I don't even talk anything. They don't talk. Let me talk to my mom.
The distractions. Let me mute.
He's playing along. Like imagine normally that's how it's supposed to be done with them because you don't know who you be. So you will come just.
Okay, so research. What's the investor's track record? Yes. So dig deep into the investor's experience and investment history to determine the types of companies they typically finance. So I'm working on a project now from MasterCard, a grant call. Doing that for a client. So MasterCard, so saying MasterCard, I know that, oh yeah, MasterCard is, they have the investment track record. So when I saw it, I said, yes, it's doable. We will look into that. So that's it. You need to know their experience in funding. Have they done that before? And you also need to know the type of companies they are interested in funding. The MasterCard call is only for agribusinesses. So if you're not in agribusiness, definitely there's no point sending in your application for that call. And you also need to know the background knowledge they might already have and whether your personalities will meet. Yes, so this is just researching to know they want to fund. So what industry do they invest in? Some organizations have specific industry that they invest on. For example, Rethink Education. This is a venture capital fund that invests in early and growth stage education technology startup. So if you're not in edutech, you shouldn't even look at Rethink Education because that's not your line. If you have this information, it will enable you to modify your pitch and determine if this is the right person or fund to partner with. You know, I said that it's not just to get their fund, but you're also looking at the partnership with them. So when you have research and dig deep, you learn about their experience and their history. This will give you the informed decision to know whether, oh, this is what I'm really interested in and I want to do this. So knowing the types of company the firm invests in can help you tailor your pitch and zero in on their presumed priorities. If you have all this at the back of your mind, then you won't waste time Someone like me, it's not all grants call I want to submit my application for. I don't even have that time. So I'll need to check. First, eligibility. Let me know the criteria. What sector? What's the eligibility criteria? So once I know, I'll say, oh, yes, I can do this. Oh, no, I can't do this. So you won't waste your time just writing and putting up your pitch deck, sending it in, and at the end of the day, you are not called. So you need to do your due diligence, research. So consider how you are presenting yourself. Your charisma, your courage. It's not just about presenting your idea or presenting your business. It's about your personalities also. How do you position yourself? When you are being invited to pitch, how do you start? So your personality is equally as important as your ideas and the skill and the business you want to talk about. Investors also want to know they are entering into a partnership with the right people. So they want to have a good perceptions about your character and trustworthiness. Recently, investors have included trustworthiness into their investment checklist. And where do you get this trustworthiness letter from? From your bank. And you know, as a business owner, most of us, you don't even know your account officer. Or even if you know your account officer, there's no relationship between you and your account officer. Because it's your account officer that will give you that trustworthiness letter from your bank. So if you don't have that good relationship with your bankers, then how will you get the trustworthiness letter for investments? So they are interested in your character, in how you position yourself when you come to pitch. They want to know whether the founders have worked together before. Maybe do you have a team? If you have worked together with team or group of people before. So if your startup early hires have complementary skill sets, your team, you know, this is still talking about your team. Who are they? Do you have the marketers? You have the operation managers? You have the production manager and the likes. They also want to know if you are flexible, if you are open-minded and willing to embrace different perspectives. Because sometimes when we go for pitching competition, it's not everybody that win the fund at the end of the day. But sometimes you get this mentorship offer. Investors will offer to mentor you for free. They will offer to guide you for free. They will offer to work with you in the next 6 months for free. And that's another way of getting funding, because once you are flexible and you embrace different perspectives coming from the investors or the funders or the judges, in fact, another opportunity will come your way. So don't just look at the money alone. Look at the partnership. Look at the relationship. Look at the collaboration. Look at the friendship you want to get from that fellowship. And that is why you don't just run a program and after the program, you go. Let there be a kind of relationship, constant follow-up. Okay, what's next? What's next? What next? That's follow-up. Then your attitude matters when you are presenting or when you go for your pitching. Think about this as you prepare your pitch. If investors poke holes into your idea, will you get defensive? Just like we watched from that video. Will you get defensive when they ask questions about your financial projections? How will you react? Will you exaggerate the numbers? Hopefully your answers are no. Firms want to partner with founders they can trust, who are open to guidance and mentorship. But if you are second-guessing your reactions, consider what you might be asked and practice your responses. And that's why we have pitch deck. Many of the pitch competition you won't see them online. You won't see any video of such pitch competitions online, except from maybe the international pitching competition and the likes. So that's the way it is. So when you are going to pitch for funding, tell a story. Let there be a story. In fact, start with story. When describing your business, zero in on the problem you are addressing and how you are solving it better than your competitor, sorry. So you could do this by presenting a real life scenario, yeah, in which you describe the pain points a current or prospective customer faced and how your product or service fixed the issue. From that video, you can remember the lady, the healthcare lady that talked about the cousin that had hair problem and she was traumatized because of that. So you start with a story, paint a real life scenario, attach it to what you are doing. That story alone will capture the attention of your listeners. Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of things to say. But one story about your business will catch their attention. And that is what the judges will focus on. This will engage investors on a personal level and inspire them to see your ideas' potential. Yes, storytelling. And in your pitch, you also need to complement your spreadsheets and chart with a compelling story. You can paint a fuller picture of your startup's future and more effectively highlighting the opportunity in the market. So if you're sending in a pitch deck, you can, put a picture chart of that story you are talking about. When you're also pitching, cover the details. Cover the details of your business in that short time. While it's important to set the stage, you also need to cover the specifics in your pitch deck. Simply define your value proposition and share a memorable tagline for investors to leave the meeting with. So at this point, let's hear our memorable tagline. What memorable tagline are you using in that your business? Just like a bank, if I say my bank and I, which bank use that memorable tagline? Or if I want to say Orange Bank, which bank use that, like a tagline that if you say it, there was, oh, that lady that has that memory, that tagline, So what's your tagline for that your business? So question now, and I want your response. Yes, so I want response from you or your memorable tagline.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Well done, ma.
Thank you very much.
So our own tagline, because we are into food, our tagline is all about food.
All about food. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Very simple and short. Okay, so tagline from another person.
Hello, good afternoon, ma.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Shakira of KSR Food. We are into
Okay.
food business. Our
Okay.
tagline is so fast, so yummy, because with our food, you can get it faster than you can think of.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's nice. So another person.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Madebimpe.
Okay.
I want to complete this with books and stationaries.
Okay.
So yes, we do supplies to schools.
Okay.
Yes.
So your tagline You know, when you say
Sorry everyone, good afternoon, please can you all hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, please. Go on. Yes, go on.
Okay, so I'm so sorry, I apologize for this. So I have just dropped a Zoom link on chat. Please, I would